Hello friends, I am going to explain the menu settings of Nikon D5600. You can clearly see whenever you switch on the camera, this is the screen that will be visible by default, and it indicates shutter speed, aperture, ISO settings, and then image quality, autofocus modes, and other things. Right? Let us check with how to set and go through the detailed settings in the menu. So I will press menu button on the camera body that is available on the back side. Okay, so it will bring us to this kind of menu, wherein please observe on the left hand side there are various tabs. They are highlighted as yellow color. First is the playback menu, then shooting menu, then this custom setting menu, then camera setup menu, then retouch menu, and lastly my menu. So we are going to see what are all these menu settings and what are there inside. It's a this Nikon D5600, the user interface for the menu is very user friendly, and it's very intuitive. Compared to the recent mirrorless cameras that are available in the market other than the Nikon, what I observed is that there are too many pages and too much amount of customization required, and it's very difficult for new users or the beginner level photographers to understand. Even at a professional level, too much of settings and the maybe menu which is having too much of depth is not useful. Hence, let us go through this very user friendly and very intuitive menu settings for Nikon D5600 camera. First menu is a playback menu. I'll go through the first menu, various items. I'll click right navigation button on the camera, and we can see that within playback, whenever we take the pictures, they are stored in the camera memory card, and we'll be able to do various things as a matter of playback. So those all items are there in this. First is a delete. We can delete an image, right? Once we click delete, it will give us option to select the image that is to be deleted. We can delete one image, we can delete multiple images by selecting, and so on. Then there is playback folder. So all the folders will be visible, can be selected, right? Playback display options, what we want to see on the display, that can be set. Then image review. Okay, so once we take a picture, after that it will show the image review for maybe 4 seconds. We can select that time as well, or we can keep it off if you want. We are taking too many pictures and we don't want to review them immediately, but it is always a good practice to see them once they are taken. Then also we have got auto image rotation. If we take the camera at 90 degrees, hold the camera and take the image, some person who is standing, okay, so in that case when we see this in the playback menu, it will be rotated automatically, right? Then rotate all, there is a setting. Then slideshow, we can set the timing for the slideshow and also select the range of images that are to be seen through the playback menu. And finally, we can also rate the pictures as per our choice, and or maybe as per the quality that we think as a photographer they are good, or maybe we want to rate them at our individual level. And lastly, within the playback menu, if I scroll down further, it shows select to the smart device. It is possible to send the images by selecting them and sending it over Bluetooth to the Android phone or maybe the other operating system based phones. Okay, so this is the playback menu, right? Again, I'll go back to the main page, and after playback menu, please observe left hand side tab. Next menu settings are that of shooting menu. So what shooting menu we have to set for the camera? So first option is reset the shooting menu. So if I want to restore the camera back to the factory settings, so I have to click here and go for accepting reset the shooting menu. It will go to default. So once you start using it, then you don't require this particular setting unless there is some repair or maintenance to be done. Okay. Then we can name the storage folders, right? Similarly, file can be named with some precursor. Here the default precursor is DSC. We may give the file name as per the our own name initials, or maybe name of the company, or some special marking like that. Okay. The image quality can be selected, right? In the shooting menu, what will be the quality of the image? Here at present it is showing raw. Okay, but it is possible to select as I move higher and higher, so the size of the image will be larger amount of memory will be required. As I move downward, lesser memory will be required and quality will be low. Okay. Then the image size can be selected, but since I have selected raw here, so full image size is there. That's why image size, otherwise it has three options: small, medium and large. So megapixels will be higher for large, and smaller image will consume lesser space. Then similarly, the video recording or the raw image recording, we can select the bit format, the 14 bit, 16 bit, 12 bit, 14 bit options are there. Then ISO sensitivity setting can be done, and we can select the white balance. All the things that are related, ISO, white balance, these are related to the shooting. We can select the picture control. Okay, picture control means the color scheme, how we want to set, whether standard, neutral, vivid, monochrome, portrait. Okay, so picture control, what type of picture situation we are taking accordingly. So we may be taking some portrait, so some default settings are there as far as the exposure and saturation is concerned, so that can be straight away selected. And last one is a flat. This is especially meant for recording the movies or videos, where a flat profile, it will just maintain the shadows and highlights, and it can be post processed for better output. Okay, post processing of videos especially.
Let us quickly now go through the custom setting menu. So kindly observe the very first option here is to reset the custom settings at the factory reset factory level. Okay, factory custom settings. Custom settings menu provide variety of options for customizing the autofocus, right? We can select the autofocus priority. We can select the number of autofocus point. Similarly, we can switch on and switch off the built-in autofocus illuminator. And this is especially required for the photography where the light is less. And last one is a range finder. This is for the viewport. Okay. The next custom setting is about the exposure, right? So exposure value steps we can control. So presently it is set at 1/3. Okay, we can adjust it to 1/2, maybe 1/5, and so on. Similarly, we can select whether we want to have ISO displayed in the viewfinder, right? We can turn it on and off as per the requirement. The next set of setting related to the shutter release button. We can program shutter release with the help of auto exposure lock button. It is presently turned off. So generally shutter release is through shutter button, but we can choose to provide shutter release through the AEL button, right? Then we can have auto off timers. The display time we can select. Similarly, the image review time we can set using auto off timers. It may range from few seconds to few minutes. Camera can be programmed to take the pictures with a self timer. Maybe through tripod will be required in that case. Then further settings are related to exposure delay mode, file number sequencing, and viewfinder grid. Grid can be turned on in the viewfinder, right? Further, we can add date stamp. So presently it is in the off, we kept it off. Then there is a reverse indicator in the viewfinder. This is again viewfinder related settings that we can understand it at a later stage in detail in separate tutorial. Then inbuilt flash control. It can be either set to manual or TTL. And then further bracketing compensation, we can select auto bracketing set, whether it is white balance based or not. Then we can assign function buttons, a customization of various buttons that are available on the camera. Similarly, we can assign the touch function and also program the reverse dial rotation. So these are the custom settings. Now let us move to the next page of settings. This is the main setup menu. Okay. So main setup menu, very first option, format memory card, very convenient for the photographers to just download all the data and format it, keep it ready for the next assignment. Then further we can add comments to the images, right? And copyright information can be added in the form of author name or the photographer name or company name. We can select the menu setting language. Presently it is English. Then we can turn on and turn off the beep when the autofocus lock takes place. So beep is there. Then touch control can be switched on and switched off, right? Then further options are related to the info display format, then auto info display. Clean image sensor. We can clean the image sensor in body by every time we switch on the camera. There is a setting. So this electronically the sensor will be cleaned every time we switch on the camera, or we may select manual image this cleaning, right? Then there is a setting for selecting image to check with the desktop reference photo. So that can be again assigned and selected. We can minimize the flicker reduction. It is set to auto. Then slot empty release. The next is the HDMI setting. In HDMI setting, we can connect the camera to the TV in order to look at the pictures and videos. Similarly, we can take output from the menu panel onto the television. We can set the GPS data and so also the remote control, but both these settings they require separate additional accessories. GPS is not inbuilt in this Nikon D5600. Further, we have got airplane mode, wherein we can switch off the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth on camera to prevent transfer of photos unknowingly to the connected device, right? And further we can connect to various smart devices, Android, iOS, okay, through Wi-Fi, okay, and similarly through the Bluetooth. Here Bluetooth always remains on, but the Wi-Fi has to be enabled. Camera has an inbuilt Wi-Fi to which any Android or iOS device can connect, and we can transfer photos as well as videos. So also we can do the remote photography using SnapBridge application. Further settings are related to conformity marking, and we can also check with the firmware version. Right. So this is about the setup menu. Now let us move ahead to the next menu item, that is a retouch menu. In this section, whatever photographs we have taken or video we have taken, we can process them in camera body. Let us say we can trim the videos, we can resize the images. Similarly, we can adjust the lighting and add some effects. Okay, quick retouch. And similarly, red eye correction, perspective control, fisheye we can remove. Filter effects can be added with various lighting options. Okay, and then images can be converted to monochrome. Multiple images can be overlaid. Similarly, color outline, right, and photo illustration, color sketch, all these various options. So color outline, again it is a kind of a special effect that a selective color outline can be added to an image. All these are in camera body itself. We don't have to transfer the images to any software. Some softwares are available, but these are all in-body features that can be added. Photo illustration, then color sketch, this toy effect or miniature effect, or selective color. Selective color can be highlighted, rest of the photograph can be converted to monochrome. That's an interesting feature. Okay. Then further, the image can be converted in the form of a color painting through in camera modification here. Okay. And lastly, we can edit the movie, trim the movie, adjust the timing, and so on. Okay. Basic features are available.
And lastly, we see the most important, that is my menu. Within my menu, various items are visible here. You can see these are random items, maybe movie setting, frame size, frame rate, movie quality. All these items I have added as per my requirement and as per my need. Okay. It may not be possible for me to go through a very detailed menu every time when I am shooting. Okay. So for a given situation, I will set my menu as per my preference, as per my hobby, as per my interest or usage. Okay. And then I can add those menu items. Let us say I would like to add here one of the menu items. So I'll click add item. Okay. And then it will ask me from which of the above 5 menu I want to do this. So I'll select the shooting menu. Okay. Within shooting menu, let us say I want to select the image quality. I select the image quality, and then once the image quality is selected, it will ask me at what position I would like to keep. So I will just click OK. So image quality has been saved and it will be visible. Okay. On top, you can see in my menu now image quality is on top, right? Not only this, if let us say I want to remove this item I don't want. Okay. So from my menu I'll just select remove item. Okay. Then down at the bottom it shows I have to click right arrow to select. Let us say I have added image quality, but I change my mind at a later stage and I select this one I want to remove and just click OK. So it will say delete selected item. So this will be deleted from my menu, not from the camera. So I'll click OK. Okay. So this is done. So this way you can see now again if I go through now that image quality which was earlier on top is not visible. It is removed. Okay. So this is how the various settings are there, and most importantly all these settings are very much user friendly. Once you start using them, it is very easy to go through the menu items. They are very clear and with proper marking. And not only this, these can be also approached through the touchscreen LCD directly. Okay, I am doing this through the navigation button on the camera body, but you can always use the touchscreen directly to click on any of these items and start manipulating it. So that is the highlight of Nikon D5600 camera. And do remember my menu customization. It saves lot of time, it saves lot of effort, and you can add and remove any of these items. Okay. So thank you. This is how we are able to understand the various menu items, right?